Sweet. Welcome to June in USL League One. Tonight, we are in the Old Dominion as the Richmond Kickers host the Chattanooga Red Wolves. It's a rematch 217 days in the making after these two teams met in the semifinals of last year's playoffs, with the Red Wolves the unlikely victors and the Kickers ready for revenge on home soil. We look now at the standings in USL League One. Richmond coming into this game 5th place, just above the playoff line on 14 points, but just 2 wins behind sits Chattanooga, who also sits second to bottom in the table currently. For Richmond's player to watch, longtime USL League One fans know this name well. The all-time leading goal scorer in the league, Emiliano Terzagi. The Golden Boot winner the last 3 years, only has 1 goal this year, not for lack of trying. 15 shots leads the team currently. For Chattanooga, we look to the center of the park in Walefi, the Sao Paulo native. His coach describes him as a pit bull, physical where he can be, but technical where he needs to be. A player that can read the game well and has been instrumental in helping Chattanooga dominate possession in almost every contest they've played in 2023. So we've got a little bit to step aside here, but when we come back, we'll get you the starting lineups, the keys to the game, and of course, the opening kickoff. Don't go anywhere. Yep, I can hear you. I think that one was good. I'm honestly happy with that one or the one before. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Yep. Welcome to June in USL League One. Tonight, we are in the Old Dominion as the Richmond Kickers host the Chattanooga Red Wolves. It's a rematch 217 days in the making. Welcome to June in USL League One. Tonight, we are in the Old Dominion as the Richmond Kickers host the Chattanooga Red Wolves. It's a rematch 217 days in the making after these two teams met in the semifinals of last year's playoffs, with the Red Wolves the unlikely victors and the Kickers ready for revenge on home soil. We look now at the standings in USL League One. Richmond coming into this game 5th place, just above the playoff line on 14 points, but just 2 wins behind sits Chattanooga, who also sits second to bottom in the table currently. For Richmond's player to watch, longtime USL League One fans know this name well. The all-time leading goal scorer in the league, Emiliano Terzagi. The Golden Boot winner the last 3 years, only has 1 goal this year, not for lack of trying. 15 shots leads the team currently. For Chattanooga, we look to the center of the park in Walefi, the Sao Paulo native. His coach describes him as a pit bull, physical where he can be, but technical where he needs to be. A player that can read the game well and has been instrumental in helping Chattanooga dominate possession in almost every contest they've played in 2023. So we've got a little bit to step aside here, but when we come back, we'll get you the starting lineups, the keys to the game, and of course, the opening kickoff. Don't go anywhere.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
So we've decided to sell the house.
Oh, yeah? Who's your realtor?
Well,
Over here, guys! Over here! Only $10!
Where do I find comps? What is incumbents? How do I escrow?
Here's what I found for Scarecrow.
actually, I've been meaning to ask who you and Paul worked with.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit royalnewkent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
We would not have a business today if it weren't for the support of the many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the U-Crops brings.
Welcome back to City Stadium here in Richmond, Virginia, as the Kickers host the Red Wolves. Philip Galati with you every step of the way for what should be an exciting matchup. Before we get started here tonight, let's rewind the clock a little bit. 217 days earlier, the semifinals of the USL League One playoffs. Richmond dominated in every stat, the regular season champions, but it was this 86th minute strike from Rafael Mensingen that sent Chattanooga through to the finals. An unbelievable hit, and now, of course, Chattanooga in 2023 trying to replicate that same success, but have a lot of missing pieces. Before we look at Chattanooga's lineup, we'll first look at the hosts, lining up in a 4-3-3 under head coach Darren Sawatsky. Akira Fitzgerald, 35 years of age between the sticks for the Kickers. Meanwhile, Emiliano Terzagi playing that number 9 role with Carlton Belmar and Matthew Bentley to his left and right, respectively. For the Red Wolves and coach Ziggy Korotowski, it's an even older goalkeeper, 37 years of age for Ricardo Jerez. Not something you see every day, and not something that Chattanooga fans see every day. Lining up with a 4 at the back as opposed to a 3 that they've usually gone with this season. Rapapa Mensah, number 20, all the way up top, hoping to score some goals for the Red Wolves tonight. We look at the field now for the keys to the game for both sides. A sunny night here in Richmond. Fans in attendance making plenty of noise. And for the Kickers, it's about elevating the tempo, playing the speed that they want to play. Chattanooga is a team that can control the ball well, but if Richmond can get in behind quickly and keep Chattanooga on the back foot, they'll be the ones taking home all 3 points tonight. Meanwhile, for the Red Wolves, they've had no problems in creating chances. The problem is putting them away. The quality of those chances, Coach Korotowski says, needs to be just a little bit better. If they can get in behind the back line and continue to test the goalkeeper, then maybe Chattanooga will get an upset tonight. We'll take a quick look at the injury report. Ethan Vanacore-Decker still out for the Kickers after scoring 3 goals for them last season. Meanwhile, for Chattanooga, no Yair Paez, no Andrew Paoli, with 6 starts combined between them. Kickers on the left side wearing their all-black kit, attacking from left to right. Chattanooga in the white. Plenty of noise as the referee checks their watch. Both teams go into a huddle. What more can be expected of Chattanooga tonight? The mentality going into this game is something that Coach Korotowski talked about at length, about starting the matches on the right foot. They have the drive and they have the intensity, but they haven't been able to do anything really productive in the front third in the opening 30 minutes. In fact, Chattanooga has not scored a goal in the first half this season. And it will be the Red Wolves to take the kick. Papa Mensah over the ball. As the referee tonight, Gabrielle Ciampi, makes her final checks. And we are underway here at City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. Richmond with 3 wins, 2 losses, 5 draws. Chattanooga, 2 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws. Richmond have been able to play well at home. Coach Sawatsky says we're firing on all cylinders, we get all 3 points, and even when we're not, we usually manage to get the draw. It'll be Richmond the first possession. The smoke already billowing from the supporters in the far west corner of the stadium. Suko on the turn. Scored an Olympico last week. Lost out the goal of the week to Pedro Dolabella of Union Omaha. Appeals for the ball going out of play, but play will continue. All the way back as Akira Fitzgerald barks out orders. Something his coach said he does better than any goalie in the league. Quick turnover, now the Red Wolves on the counter attack before a much needed clearance by Chris Cole. So a chance now for the Red Wolves to just settle into things a little bit. Something they haven't had much success with. Appeals for a handball. Walter Varela goes over. The referee asking Mensah to back up just a little bit. He gets it started. One-time pass, not quite meeting the mark. Carlton Belmar chasing it down to no avail. And already the hustle play apparent from the Red Wolves on the overlapping run. Lombardi standing it up to the back post. Open header was there from Mensah, just couldn't orient his body, keep that ball underneath the crossbar or on cage for that matter. The effort has been there from Chattanooga in training and in every game this season, said head coach Ziggy Korotowski. They make the runs all the time. The work rate is there, but it's about making the correct runs at the correct time, as already the Red Wolves are dispossessed in the attacking third. Chattanooga looking just to slow things down a little bit. Cardonia waiting for the okay at midfield for the throw-in. Referee says back up a little bit. Good pressure from Richmond on the far side. It's Michael Hornsby now instead to take the throw-in. Haven't seen any sustained attack really from the Kickers in this one, and neither team can seem to control the ball from that midfield spot on the far touchline. Riley Kraft is begging for the switch, number 98 in white in midfield. As already, Hornsby is hounded in possession. Chattanooga wanted the throw and the AR signaled for it, overruled by the center official. And now here's Emiliano Terzagi for Belmar with some acreage on the right side. A step over, has the overlapping run, cuts it towards Terzagi, kept in play, appeals for offside, not given. Waiting for the decision, and the decision is a corner. Belmar driving in, had the overlap, instead fired it at pace. Terzagi wasn't quite ready for it. Good play from Simon Fitch on the overlap, the right back. Let's keep it in play and earn the opening corner of the night. Swinging ball from Michael Hornsby toward the back stick and bouncing around still, begging for a clearance from the Red Wolves. Mensa takes it down, tries to find the ball to the far side, and across the cover is Suko. Gets beat out, and a big boot from the back by Fitzgerald. Richmond now with some sustained offense in the attacking third. Here's Hornsby trying to cut it back for Vinyals. Sliding challenge forces the ball away. Kickers just trying to settle into their shape a little bit better. It's Belmar. It's a tough pass in midfield. And now Rapapa Mensah is onto it. Has an option to his left-hand side, and Walter Varela and finds him. Varela double team. Has the overlap if he wants it. Plays it for Lombardi. Varela. All the way back. This is something Chattanooga does so well, knocking the ball around, keeping possession. It's about turning that possession into quality chances. No shot available for Varela. Works it all the way to the far side. And a poor touch from Hernandez is met by jeers from the Richmond faithful. With his back to goal, able to keep possession. Vinyal skips away from his mark, trying to feed Bentley. Lovely pass for the ball to stay in bounds. Terzagi and Belmar at the back post as Bentley skips away, has options with him. Bentley trying to keep it in play, and the ball did go out. Just a little bit overeager Matthew Bentley. His 7th start of the campaign, still yet to contribute to a goal. Scored 6 of them with 3 assists last season for the Kickers. As Ricardo Jerez tells everybody to get up and in, 37 years of age, the Guatemala City native. Over 250 career appearances in pro soccer. Now all the way to the other goalkeeper, Fitzgerald. It's not often you get 2 goalkeepers, 35 and 37 years of age respectively. And yet these two are still playing their best soccer in USL League One. Tackle in midfield by Marsh for Varela. Again, the overlap available from Lombardi. Instead, work to the center of the park. Here's Walefi. First time saying his name tonight. Lombardi's cross. Bodies go down in the area. No appeals for a foul. So far it's been left and right wing where both these teams have struggled to maintain possession or create quality crosses. Only 9 minutes in. Back and forth so far, as was expected in this match. A little bit too strong on the ball through for Mensah. Fitzgerald there to claim. Goalkeeper of the Year nominee for the Kickers last year. Selected the All-League second team. Only kept 2 clean sheets this season though. Fortunate rebound for Fitch to work it all the way back. Fitzgerald communicating orders already. In fact, he's so good at communicating. His coach, Darren Sawansky, said he's a better communicator than any goalie in this league or the championship or maybe even MLS. You put him anywhere in his distribution and his ability to connect with players, it's right up there with the best of them as he starts an attack on the near side with Ani. Splits the lines for Fitch. He's worked himself into a very forward position, the right back. Lovely move on the far side by Hornsby. Worked up towards Bentley. Has options in the middle. Needed a strong header away. Second ball by Kraft. And then finally powered out of the box and all the way back. Mensah doing his best to chase it down, but to no avail. You can hear the noise and the passion from the Richmond faithful, a team that has consistently led this league in attendance. Coach Sawansky said, it's a great symbiotic relationship. We put wins on the board. The front office does a great job of making sure the community comes out here and enjoys themselves and watches a great pro soccer team. Vinyals lost it. Here's Kraft going the other way. Likes to play the safe pass. Terzagi almost got a piece of it. It was a back four on paper, but slides a little bit into a back three, Chattanooga. Once they get on the ball. Plenty of space in the center of the park. Vinyals trying to explore it. Forced all the way back for Simon Fitch. Here's Gomero. The back line for Richmond just trying to step up bit by bit. That's a fortunate bounce. Runners in the area. Hornsby trying to work some space for the run towards Terzagi all the way across. And the decisive touch wasn't provided. Flashing in front of that far post. And Terzagi feels that Richmond could and maybe should be up 1-0. Lovely work by Hornsby, and Terzagi just scraped his studs off the bottom of that ball. He's been so unlucky this season. 15 shots, leads the team. Still only one goal. Coach Sawansky said he might be a little cold this year, but he can score on any part of the field. Part of the reason for that scoring drought is, well, these teams know him. All-time leading goal scorer in this league. The Golden Boot winner 3 years in a row. Plus, he's got new options to his left and right side with Matthew Bentley and Carlton Belmar. Just trying to learn a little bit about how those players feed in passes to him differently. Free kick awarded to the Red Wolves. Alefi wanted a card. Won't get one. As Siobhan Marsh and Riley Kraft stand over the ball. And you can see Ziggy Korotowski as well barking out orders from the Chattanooga sideline. It'll be Kraft's delivery, and Fitzgerald calmly collects. Hornsby again likes to go forward. He's got some space. Tries to play a ball for Bentley again. Those two have connected on a couple of occasions. Down that left side. Chance now for Nicolas Cardona to settle things down for the Red Wolves. It's a bouncing ball. Gonna be tough to bring down for Varela, who has some space, and his first touch lets him down. So Chattanooga, a team that can dominate possession, has found themselves on the back foot so far. The key to the game we touched on earlier for Richmond, elevating the tempo. just fine in possession, but only created one quality chance so far. Maybe this will change with Simon Fitch now. Lots of space for Gamero. Tees up a shot. Diving save. Kicked away on the rebound. Terzagi is there. Finally, the all-time leading goal scorer in this league has his second of the season. Terzagi first to the rebound after a good initial save from Ricardo Jerez. 1-0 Richmond in the 15th minute. João Gamero with the shot, leading the team in goals this season with 3. It was a good save from Jerez, but just couldn't control the rebound. Chattanooga players were appealing for a call. It's not given. And the Richmond supporters go wild. River City Red Army waving their flags in support. An unlikely way to score it, but a likely goal scorer nonetheless. Terzagi more than happy to get back on the score sheet as Walefi still discussing with the center official. The ball was not at midfield. The referee says, gotta get this show back on the road. It's a yellow card for Ricardo Jerez. His 3rd of the season, delaying the restart. Wanted to protest his case, but fell on deaf ears. And he's still wanting that call to be changed, though. Not sure arguing has really ever worked in this sport. Chattanooga find themselves behind in the scoreline once again. Something their head coach, Ziggy Koratowski, has mentioned numerous times is that this team can end games well, but starting, that's the hard part. They haven't scored in the first half this season, and they usually find themselves behind at the break. Going into the book as well, Riley Kraft for Chattanooga. His 2nd yellow card of the campaign. Break here for the Red Wolves. And it was an important touch in the box to make it an easy claim for Fitzgerald. So 2 players booked, 1 goal on the board. And already this game living up to a hectic nature that rematches often do. 217 days since these teams last met in the semifinals, the USL League One playoffs. Richmond were the regular season champions. They dominated every stat for 86 minutes until a wonder strike from outside the area put Chattanooga through to the finals. And I asked Coach Sawatsky about going into this game knowing it's a rematch, and he says, well, it's pretty simple. The players that were there last year, I don't have to re-motivate them. And the new ones, they understand. Here's Walefi, dancing his way into some space on the far side of the box, trying to cut it back. Another aerial claim by Fitzgerald, an important one too. Varela with a tantalizing unmarked run at the back post. Here's Gamero. Lovely splitting pass to Vinyals. Works it along to Bentley on the far side again. Terzagi wants the service. Important touch. Sees it out for a corner instead. Justin Suko to take, who scored from the far side corner flag last week at Olympico. Not something you see every day. Will he try it again? It's a standard delivery this time towards Ani. Instead at the feet of Mensah. And again, another giveaway by the Red Wolves. A team that can and will possess the ball very well. Caught on their haunches a couple times tonight in the opening 20 minutes here in Richmond, Virginia. Terzagi a bit shaken up after a sliding challenge, so too is Manuel Madrid. Referee going to stop things just to make sure both players are okay. Terzagi already on his feet. Madrid helped back up onto them. Take a second look at that challenge. It looked clean on first glance. It was just a tough tackle. That sort of grit and intensity that Chattanooga has put in, week out. Just haven't really translated it into goals in the back of the net. Coach Korotowski says, I can't ask much more of these players. They've been working hard every week to help rebuild this team and play for the badge and play for this community. But it's that last and most crucial missing part. The shot that finds the back of the net. That's what's been missing from this team. Maybe Varela can provide a cross this time to level the score. Tried to get by his man. It looked like it took a touch. The referee says no. Varela incensed by the decision. Belmar. One touch out of bounds. Now Walefi with a chance to roll the ball to his teammate. Spend this left channel with Varela. Feels for handball, not given. On the other side, Richmond finding some space at Hornsby. That's lovely one-touch passing to open up some green grass. Referee waves, play on. All the way to the near side with Belmar. Has runners at the back stick. Tries to stand it up. Free header off target. And the flag went up anyways. Matthew Bentley wouldn't have counted if he scored. But getting into the right position anyways. Bentley, the London native, NCAA first team All-America with Missouri State. Tied for second in goals last year for the Kickers, behind only Emiliano Terzagi. Bentley had 6, Terzagi had 17. Once again, possession for the Kickers on the far side. You can hear the chant from the River City Red Army. They're out to win the league, as they did last year in the regular season. Currently sitting 5th in the table, only 8 points behind the Charlotte Independents, still very early on in this campaign. Team that is more than capable of repeating as winners. Seen a lot of possession so far from the Kickers in midfield as a player is down for Richmond. Looks like Michael Hornsby in some discomfort. as Hornsby is helped up to his feet. Just planted his foot wrong. That can always be a tough one, but walking okay and looks ready to carry on, which is always a good sign. Hornsby has been all over the pitch in the opening 25 minutes. A left back who can go both ways. Somebody who his coach says is the most underrated defender in the league, and so far you'd have to agree with them. Another one-touch pass to open up space for a fullback, this time Simon Fitch on the near side. Plays the way he faces to Belmar. Nowhere to turn for Gamero. Suko evades a challenge. Looking to take on a couple more players, goes down. No signal from the referee, ball stays with Belmar. A scissor step, across, deflected for a throw. Chance now for Richmond to get bodies forward. Terzagi in the mixer, so too is Chris Gold, the center back. Nathan Awney on the throw. Telling everybody to back up. Awney launches it toward the box. Recovers his own throw. And commits a foul in the process. It's not often you see players able to throw a ball that far and then get their own rebound. Just went through the player. It's the right call. Lombardi winning the foul. Fitch trying to shield off Arela and does, loses his footing. Mensah can't turn it over. And now Suko trying to send it long the other way. Omar did everything he could to keep it in. Physical challenge on the far side. Again, no signal from the referee except for the throw. Two teams with history have gone back and forth for the most part in their last few meetings. The only constant is that Richmond hasn't been shut out in almost 3 years. That streak will continue tonight. Cole for Hornsby. Calls for time and space. Awney going to explore it a little bit. And again retreats back. Richmond more than content to dominate possession. Forcing the Red Wolves into their low block. Starving them of any opportunity to go forward and explore. All the way back to Fitzgerald, and now Chattanooga can step up a little bit. He holds his hands up. Didn't see a lot of options. And the throw-in goes the way of Richmond, surprisingly. Looked like Lombardi might have had a case there. Gomero with calls to turn. 3 goals this season for Richmond. The referee has called Bentley for an infraction. Going the other way. as we remind you to never miss a minute of the action in 2023, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Jerez still looking for options, finally plays it short. Now can Chattanooga elevate their offense just a little bit? Both teams can play in between, with, and across the back line, that's for sure, but nobody coming to the ball for Renteria, screaming at his midfield to show for options. Finally, Varela does. Checking back in, keeping the move alive. Cardona. Renteria will take some liberties with his positioning now. Trying to send one in behind, and that ball never looked too promising. Another long ball over the top into no man's land, and Papa Mensah and Siobhan Marsh just holding their hands up saying, what more do you want us to do? Two capable forwards. Marsh with 1 goal, Mensah with 2 this season. I've seen very little of the ball in the attacking third in the opening half. Fitzgerald. For Cole. Another one-touch pass to the wings to open up space. Lovely dummy to leave the ball for Gomero. Terzagi gets his reward with the return pass. Trying to work it all the way across. Space in the box. A shot from a tough angle, and what a challenge that is. At the death, our own Lombardi concedes a corner. Simon Fitch thought he had his first goal of the season. Terzagi, the goal scorer turned provider. So much space for the right back. And what a sliding tackle that is to get an all-important block. Hornsby takes the ball to the corner. Just hovering on the line. Good cross and a better claim by Jerez. Here's Cardona. Madrid. Red Wolves communicating with each other, but it doesn't seem like the friendliest language. So much space in the middle of the park and no white shirts checking back for the ball. That's a mistake at the back, and Chris Cole is lucky that that was off target. Fitzgerald off his line to claim, and a miscommunication. A rare lapse in concentration from Chris Cole. Fitzgerald came out to claim. Cole said, I'll head it back to you, and Fitzgerald said, where? Spoke on it earlier how Fitzgerald is one of the best communicators in this league, if not the American soccer pyramid, in the opinion of his head coach. It's not exactly the shining example. Corner at the near post, easily cleared away, right back where it came. Second ball, again, a little bit under hit. Two important chances on the far side, and Siobhan Marsh just didn't get all the ball. Here's Mensah with his back to goal, 2 defenders to beat. Bounces back to a fortunate space. And now Chattanooga just stepping on the gas a little bit. It's Cardonia, looping throw. That's his first touch, is a good one. Second, not so much. Pressure still on from the Red Wolves. Ball through and the flag immediately goes up. No chance for Mensa to start the attack. Play restarted quickly with Fitch. Move forward from Ani. That's a lovely pass and a great touch by Bentley. Here's Vinyals on the overlap. And can't keep that select ball in play. The official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. Chattanooga, just as quickly as they get the ball back, more than keen to give it away. Red Wolves front line slowly creeping up, and Kraft applies the pressure. Lombardi to take the throw, the man with the all-important block a couple minutes ago. Lefty checks his surroundings and turns to face. The far side with Cardonia. Marsh forced back. Looking for help and gets it with Walefi. Brazilian much farther away from the box than maybe he'd like to be. Lombardi. Back to the center half with Madrid. Now finally some space again for Varela on this left-hand side. Walefi as the fulcrum. And Renteria advances. Renteria still going. Clever touch to leave the ball behind. And too many shirts in the corner forces the ball back again. Walefi thought he had space to turn. Romero right on top of him. And Coach Sawatsky screaming from the sidelines for his kickers to get up the field. As Terzagi does, almost got a piece of that too. Excellent sustained pressure by Richmond. Just kept forcing the ball gradually further and further back down the pitch until it was theirs. Hornsby. An outside back who has been much more forward than the Chattanooga counterparts today. He'll take another throw in. Romero thought he had time to settle, dispossessed instead by Marsh. Here's Jerez. Towering header forces it back the other way. Belmar lost his footing. Chance here for Chattanooga. Varela trying to work some space and excellently defended by Fitch. Fitch and Hornsby, the outside backs, had quite the role to fill for the defending regular season champions, the Richmond Kickers, and Coach Sawatsky said it was an upgrade in both cases. Both players came into camp hungry and ready to work, and here at Richmond, that's what we reward. Here's Ani for Gamero. Terzagi checks his surroundings. Lovely flick. Goes down, but the play continues with Bentley. Flag stays down. Matthew Bentley strike wide of the mark. Some lovely play in midfield. Bentley couldn't quite steer it on frame for his first of the campaign. Terzagi with unselfish play. Gomero once again finding pockets of space for Bentley to run onto. And Jerez never looked too troubled. Long ball kept in play. Belmar trying to turn out of pressure and unable to do so with the ball. Varela escapes. And too much juice on the ball for Kraft. The USL on ESPN continues as the summer heats up. Memphis 901 FC and Aaron Malloy head to the Valley of the Sun to face Manuel Arteaga and Phoenix Rising FC. It's Phoenix Rising FC and Memphis 901 FC Saturday, July 1st at 11 p.m. Eastern on ESPN 2. Plenty of action this summer in USL League One, USL Championship, of course MLS getting underway, the Leagues Cup just around the corner. As Kraft looks for space for the shot, right into Ani. That stalwart defender at it again. Leads the league in passes and clearances. In the right place at the right time. Varela. All the way back and some space in midfield maybe. Jerez tries to go all the way forward for Mensah. Flicked on, and this time Fitzgerald communicates a little bit better. Riley Kraft, 98, in the bright pink boots. He's been working himself slowly and slowly higher up the pitch. That's something head coach Ziggy Korytowski talked about. His role as a box-to-box midfielder, that's where he's best. Hasn't had the chance to go forward very often this season. And now creeping ever closer to the goal mouth in the closing stages of the first half. Gomero. Long ball towards Belmar, and again, just too strong. So far, it's really just been half a chance that's gone the way of the hosts. Terzagi on hand to put it home. But both goalkeepers haven't faced too much trouble. Nothing Jerez was going to be able to do about that follow-up. Terzagi was just first to it. And his head coach, Ziggy Korytowski, says Jerez is a great goalkeeper, just hasn't really been bailed out by the players in front of him this season. Every goal he's conceded has been tough to save. Here comes Varela the other way. Ball gets a little bit away from him and under hits the pass. Romero with a nice flick, heads it on towards open space. Has a couple players to his left-hand side. Forced to use one in Nil Vinyals. Headed back out towards Fitch, who lines up the volley. Thought about it. Now onto his left foot and curling ever over the bar. Fitch once again the outside back. His second shot of the game, working himself into some very promising spaces. And as always, a reminder, if you can't watch the match, you can tune in on Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk. Hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. Ball just dancing on the paint of the touchline, stays in. And again, a free kick in favor of Chattanooga. Kraft with both arms up for it, and the referee says it wasn't quite on the correct blade of grass. So we're going to try that again. Third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. Chattanooga not too pleased, but the head official tonight is absolutely certain. Gabriel Ciampi making sure that the play is restarted fairly. Varela, once again a little bit too much on the touch. Belmar goes down. Referee has a look, but elects to let play continue. As the 45th minute ticks away, and we'll add one more of stoppage time here at the tail end of the first half. Gomero in no hurry to restart the play. Time for at least one more attack. The kicker is the likely beneficiary. Fitch still keen to bleed a little bit more off the stopwatch. Here's Suko. All the way back. Cole tripped up. Mensah pleads his case. Will he go into the book for it? Doesn't look like it. As we will add on a couple more seconds here. No yellow card for the foul, just a warning. Stray foot. Mensah staying out of the book for now, as the referee has a look at the watch and decides that'll do it. 45 minutes in the books, and it's Richmond on top 1-0. From the goal by who else? Emiliano Terzagi. Dominant first half performance by the kickers in their red midnight kits. And Chattanooga will have questions to be asked in the locker room. What does head coach Ziggy Korotowski have in store for the Red Wolves? Can they get their way back into this match? The halftime score, Richmond 1, Chattanooga 0. And the Richmond faithful, and the decisive touch wasn't provided. As Terzagi, the lone difference maker, here
Face
at
of the
City
box.
Stadium. He tees up a shot, one diving save. Richmond will step aside for a little bit. We got the second half and more when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with a provider today.
Hi, I'm Megan Mack, President of Prospect Blue.
And I'm Jess Barnes, Director of Business Development at Prospect Blue.
Prospect Blue is a staffing and recruiting firm headquartered right here in Richmond, Virginia. We serve the Mid-Atlantic region and beyond.
With the labor market experiencing historic shortages, Prospect Blue is here to help companies attract and retain key talent.
With strong relationships in the corporate, financial, legal, and medical fields, we are in a unique position to connect employers with job seekers.
Welcome back to City Stadium. Still 1-0 in favor of the host. Richmond lead Chattanooga at the break as we take a look at some highlights from last week with Mark Schoenster.
It's time for your Week 11 roundup, starting off at American Legion Memorial Stadium. A rainy day there, but it was also raining goals for the Jacks. Joel Johnson getting his first of the season, just recently became the most capped player in Jacks history. Then Omar Sist hits this beautiful free kick, does a little celebration afterwards, similar to that of Cristiano Ronaldo. And then in the second half, Tracer Mbuyu, no goals 2 weeks ago. Now he has a goal in 2 straight games. If that man's getting hot, then the Jacks are really going to be flying. They're already up in the table, and if they can get Tracer Mbuyu in good form, they're a menacing team to go up against. Meanwhile, the two new clubs, their second ever fixture against each other, and it starts off with this Nico Brown header. Wonderfully serviced ball from Tate Robertson. Lexington gets the lead at home, but there would be a response, and it would be from a man who scored in their first leg. It would be Jake Keegan tucking it home. He's been in great form to start this season, making the transfer over to One Knoxville, his third different League One club. And Keegan, once again, on the score sheet here. Then later in the game, Ahinga Selemani would play this ball in, and Amael Knight would knock it away, keep it at a 1-1 draw. Mark McKeever and Sam Stockley would give an encouraging handshake after the match, sharing a point apiece. Meanwhile, Future Legends Sports Complex opens up its home to Northern Colorado Hailstorm. This will be where they'll be playing games for quite a long time, and they christened it properly. 1 goal in the first half. 9 minutes later, they'd get a second goal in the first half. Billy King. Then it would only take 7 more minutes, still in the first half, where Billy King, who's been involved in each goal, mind you, so far, draws the penalty. They're going to give it to Trevor Ahmed, which puts him at 6 total goals in the season, tying him with Rafa Mensingen. They're already up 3-0, but they still got 1 more goal in them before the end of the half, and it would be Trevor Ahmed getting his 7th goal, putting him in the lead for the Golden Boot race. In the second half, there would be a goal salvaged for Central Valley Fuego after the handball inside the 18. Villian Bijev would put it home, making it 4-1 in favor of Northern Colorado Hailstorm. What a way to open up your new home as we go over to a new home that was opened up last season and also saw a championship title. Tormenta hosting Richmond right before the half. Nick Akoto would put this one in, his first goal as a pro. A nice rainy day in Tormenta as well. Saw some rain across different venues in USL League One last Saturday. And then the Olympico from Justin Suko. Ambitious strike. Pablo Jara, could he have done better? I don't know. It was a good hit from Suko. It would end up being a 1-1 draw, but not before we saw a red card. Zaka Moran, the ever physical holding midfielder, gets his second yellow. He'd get sent out of the match, but no goals would be scored. Ian Cameron and Darren Sawatsky share a handshake, and we go on to our last game of the day. Madison going to Werner Park. Fantastic save from Bern Shipman. 2 fantastic keepers in this game between Shipman and Rashid Nuhu. But it would be Macias who gets on the scoreboard first, weaving through some traffic, getting the nice finish, making it 1-0 in favor of the Mingos, and doing a little runway celebration afterwards. But Omaha would come in, the ball would skip through a couple times, and Shaft Brewer would put it home to tie the game up at 1 apiece. But there would still be 1 more goal in this game, a winner, a decider. This corner kick, Christian Cheney is going to do some fantastic individual effort. Let's take a look at this touch right here, and then outside of his boot, gets it done. Madison win 2-1. We're going to step aside for a break. We'll see you on the other end on ESPN+.
Are you ready? Ready for more of the game you love? Ready for more players and more teams? Ready for more stadiums, for more fans in more cities? This is a different league. The USL Super League. Built for the future of women's soccer. Bridging the journey from youth to pro, connected to the global game, and bringing it all closer to home. Are you ready?
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Taxes man, left foot, and it's a first-time shot, and a goal! Luis Fernando! It's turned over. Babu Karjai to put it away! Phoenix Rising will take all 3 points, 3-1 to Rising.
Let's take a look at some of the news and notes in USL League One this season. Of course, we are celebrating Pride Month, and all of our members of the LGBTQ community and their allies. Also noteworthy, the 100th appearance for Don Smart in Lexington, just the 7th player in league history to do so. And then Noah Mesa having a heck of a week, 3 goal contributions in a 3-3 thriller between Omaha and Greenville last week. Of course, Mesa earned his way onto the team of the week. Also on there, of course, Austin Pack leading the league in saves with 43. Bruno Rendon, who's been holding it down for the Hailstorm with his teammate up top, Trevor Ammon, leading the league in goals. So the scoreboard so far around the league, Charlotte Independence, 3-0 victors over Union Omaha. They continue their dominance atop the table. Scoreless still between Knoxville and North Carolina in the 25th minute. The Hailstorm with a 2-1 lead, and scoreless at halftime as well between Greenville and South Georgia. For the upcoming schedule in USL League One, you see a lot of Forward Madison FC, so hopefully their players are taking the necessary R&R when they can get it. Richmond next on the road against Northern Colorado Hailstorm, and Trevor Ammon, the league leading goal scorer. So we'll step aside one more time, and then when we come back, we've got first half highlights and the second half kick. All that and more on the other side of the break. Stay with us.
SeatGeek is the ticketing app for fans like the High Five Strangers guy. Game-winning interception. First down. Just a nice, solid tackle. If you're in arm's length, you will be swapping skin with this extrovert. You see, he knows SeatGeek got him a great deal on tickets, so he can focus on what he does best, smacking palms. SeatGeek handles the tickets to sports, concerts, and more, so fans can fan.
So we've decided to sell the house.
Oh, yeah? Who's your realtor?
Well,
home for sale. Over here, guys, over here. Only $10.
Where do I find comps? What is incumbents? How do I escrow?
Here's what I found for Scarecrow.
actually, I've been meaning to ask who you and Paul worked with.
Welcome to Royal New Kent Golf Club. Designed by world-renowned architect Mike Strantz, Royal New Kent's a one-of-a-kind Irish-style golf course located 20 minutes east of Richmond, Virginia. Royal New Kent was featured in Golf Week's top 100 public courses in the country. Hidden behind grassy knolls and hand-stacked rock walls, each hole offers several playing options to fit a wide range of abilities. Visit royalnewkent.com or follow us on social media for more information on tee times and rates. Remember, come to Royal New Kent Golf Club to Golf Ireland in Virginia.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days. as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
Let's take a look at the highlights from the first half. Belmar has had a couple chances on the right wing, and Terzagi thought he had a chance to score in the opening minutes. Ball fired in, and the forward just unable to get his feet at the right place at the right time. But that wouldn't last long. Richmond continued to pepper on the offense. Terzagi again thought he had it on the second bite of the apple. Great ball across from Hornsby, just couldn't redirect it into the net. So third time's the charm. Joao Gomero with some space outside the area. Good shot, save. Thought the goalie kicked it away. Instead, Terzagi finally is there. Gets his second of the campaign. Jerez with a good first save. Kicked it. Thought he cleared it far enough. Terzagi said, "I'll take that, thank you very much." Appeals for handball were not given. As we look at the halftime stats, 6 shots in favor of Richmond, compared to just 1 for Chattanooga, plus the kickers almost 60% in possession, something the Red Wolves do well this season, find themselves on the wrong side of the possession marker. Let's hop back into City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. The sun is set a little bit, but the fans still ready for more. The kickers on the right side of your screen in the red midnight kits attacking right to left. Terzagi to restart the action in the second half. Chattanooga on the left side in the all-white. Waiting for the okay from the center official tonight. Gabriel Ciampi checks with his ARs. Starts the watch, and we are underway once again in Richmond, Virginia. A half with just 1 shot for the Red Wolves, 6 from Richmond. Despite that, Jerez, the goalkeeper for the Red Wolves, didn't really have much to do, couldn't do much on that first goal. Made the all-important save, didn't control the rebound, and his fellow defenders were just second to react. But the second half, this is where Chattanooga starts to find their fire a little bit. They've scored all their goals in the second 45, and most of them towards the latter stages. Something Coach Korotowski talked about this week is that this team has the fire under their bellies, putting in the work week in, week out, usually not finding those spaces towards the closing stages of the game, rather. Meanwhile, Chattanooga, when they're firing on all cylinders, said head coach Darren Sawatsky, they're getting all 3 points. And when they're not, they're still managing to get a tie. 5 ties this season for the kickers, tied for most in the league. Papa Mensah chasing down the ball as he did for most of that first half. Lovely play on the far side from Carlton Belmar to keep it in bounds. Goes for a foul in midfield, and another coming together right in front of the referee. And the whistle stays silent, despite Belmar in some discomfort. Right in front of the trainers should he need them. It looks okay to carry on. Might have just caught a stray arm to the face there. Again, a revenge contest for these teams. 217 days separating their last meeting. An unlikely win for Chattanooga, who have looked a little bit lost tonight. And Richmond about 43 minutes away from an all-important 3 points as they chase back-to-back regular season championships. Once again, the referee stopping play to make sure the ball is stopped and on the absolute perfect blade of grass. Terzagi, no space to turn or keep the ball. Good play from Hernandez. Opens up some space for Kraft, who as quickly as he receives possession gives it away. Suko to turn with Fitzgerald. Richmond looking a little bit press on defense right now. Able to work some space now with Nil Vinyals. Plenty of time to pick out an option. Tries to go himself to the left side with Bentley. Appeals for offside, not given. Cross to the back stick. And Belmar was aching for a better service. It almost looked like a shot at first. Matthew Bentley caught it between two minds. Appeals for offside weren't given. We saw a lot of those runs by Bentley on the left side first half. And it looked like a cross from the way he was orienting his body, opening up his hips and inside the left foot, but got way underneath the ball. Cole tries to just touch it away, hounded by Mensah, and eventually does get the ball free from the corner. Another searching Route 1 pass. Belmar's got the legs to get onto it, and he does. Into the box, sliding challenge. And it looked like Madrid got every piece of the ball. And the call is a corner as Madrid helps Belmar back up to his feet, and a good display of sportsmanship. Lovely pace from Belmar, the Virginia Beach native. Clean sliding tackle. That's the correct decision. And Manuel Madrid, when you have 12,000 career minutes in pro soccer, you know how to make that challenge. The arm goes up from Hornsby, right in front of the River City Red Army. And the ball comes straight down with Jerez, who's fouled in the process. Jerez on a yellow card and wants to make sure that the ball is exactly where it's supposed to be. Cardonia. Richmond applying the pressure. And a clearance off of Bentley, who calls his teammates forward, says, let's continue this. Don't let him out. The lefty is static. Renteria's directing traffic from the back, pushing those midfielders forward, and it's a one-time clearance, a wild hack that is somehow brought down. Mensah does well to keep possession, and now plenty of green grass on the far side. Here's Siobhan Marsh. Lombardi on the overlap. Tees it up to the back stick over just about everybody. Second ball kept in play. Cardonia's turn to whip one in. Mensah second to it. Half-hearted volley, still bouncing around. Here's Kraft, shot deflected, and Vinyal stamps it skyward. Terzagi goes down. The referee looks like another talking to. Still just 2 yellow cards. Riley Kraft and Ricardo Jerez, the guilty parties for Chattanooga. Bentley goes down after a hard challenge, but Cardonia got all of the ball. And now that physicality is starting to blossom just a little bit more. In midfield, it was mostly Richmond in that first half with so much space. Now getting a little bit more congested. With the traffic jam comes collisions. Jerez calls for the long ball back, sends another forward. Omar first two, and Ralefi takes it down well. Push and go. Kept in play by Siobhan Marsh. Has some space on the near side to work in across, which he does to the back post. Free header over the bar. Walter Varela just couldn't keep it on frame. Varela has started every game this season for Coach Kuritoski, the only player to do so. Came with Coach Kuritoski to Chattanooga from Albion San Diego and Nisa, along with his teammate Mayele Malongo, who we haven't seen yet tonight. He started 6 games this campaign. Another push and go, this one a little bit too far for Hernandez. Terzagi now. Welcomes the shoulder-to-shoulder challenge. Doesn't quite get the pass away he needed to. Another coming together in midfield. João Gomero and Ralefi both wearing number 8, both natives of Sao Paulo. Both have tried their best to orchestrate play in midfield, though Gomero has seen much more success. Madrid asking for a runner to check 2. Mensa does just that, trying to turn. Unselfish play instead for Cardonia. And Marsh sees Varela with space on the far side. Just loops the pass, hanging a little too long in the air, but stays with the Red Wolves. Slide rule pass. Kraft trying to weather the storm. Cutback that he didn't quite get every piece of. And now the rules will go the other way. Bentley calling for someone to make the run down the line. Gomero was trying to, was not afforded the space. Hornsby, who saw so much creative liberty in his positioning in the first half, hoping to start so many different attacks, hasn't really taken that sort of stride forward yet in the early stages of the second half. He wants the ball, instead goes back to Fitzgerald. Evading the pressure. Again, the midfield somewhat static. Back line forced to knock it around. Just trying to entice the Red Wolves to break their press a little bit. Can someone get out of position? Can someone dive in and open up space in midfield? Suko thought he had it, went down. Play continues regardless. Fitzgerald begging for somebody to check to the ball. Ani's had enough, he'll stride forward. Looping one over the top to nobody. Here's Madrid. Chattanooga, 41% possession in the first half. A chance to sustain something here. As the play will be called back. And halted for a substitution, the first of the night. Matthew Bentley's night is done, as he applauds the fans who show him the same level of appreciation. Instead replaced by Owain Gordon, Montego Bay native from Jamaica. Started playing pro soccer all the way back in 2011 with Arnett Gardens, the Jamaican soccer system. And has been capped a couple times with the Reggae Boys, his national team. Saw Bentley have so much space left-hand side of the box. See if Gordon will try and occupy that same area code. Looks like he'll slot in at that left wing position next to Terzagi. Coach Sawatsky staying with the three up front. Lovely touch by Cardonia. Almost intercepted by Gomero. Thought he had it. Has to retreat back now. Walefi. Unfortunate deflection. Good sliding challenge, but Chattanooga get it right back. Lovely control from Lombardi. Mensa trying to use his athleticism to his advantage. A physical challenge against Ani, the defender to Victor. Hornsby sets it back for Cole. All the way back with Fitzgerald. Just got the pass away. A little bit of life now from the Red Wolves in the press. Only for the lines to be broken. Terzagi now. Lefty slid in, didn't get the ball, but does enough. Lefty asking for a pass. Here's Varela for Mensa. Couple of white shirts in the box, if Mensa can try and pick him out. Onto his right, chips it in. The bicycle kick attempt, and what would have been spectacular goes out instead for a goal kick. Hernandez had the space. Saw the ball come in, saw him with his back to goal and said, surely not. Lovely feint from Mensa to work the space for the chipped ball, and just a little bit late. Hernandez hasn't scored this season. That would have been some way to open his account. First touch a little bit ahead of him. Rides the wave of the challenge and plays it along for Gordon. The substitute's first touches, and the pass lets him down. No way Carlton Bellemare was going to get on the other end of that. Perez throws it out of play. That's why player down for Red Wolves. The physicality of this contest has been cranked up to 11 in the opening stages of the second half. We've seen a couple hard challenges. Flow of the game to be interrupted. Some pain as well. Madrid, player who's slowly helped back onto his feet. Center back for Chattanooga, his fifth appearance, his fifth start. He's played every minute of every contest he's been in. But his night might be done. A man who spent 8 seasons in the pro soccer system in Mexico, his home country, as he will be helped off the field by the trainers and by Richmond's Joao Gomero. Once again, a good display of sportsmanship. So a couple of changes on deck now. Walter Varela will make way for his former Albion San Diego teammate Mayel Malongo. An attacking change, 1 goal for Malongo this season. Coach Korotowski says he could have a lot more. As Chattanooga double checks that every substitution is accounted for. We're a bunch of players lined up in midfield. As Mikhail Williams, the likely replacement and confirmed as the substitute for Manuel Madrid. Mikhail has appeared in every contest this season as he gets some last-minute instruction from head coach Ziggy Korotowski. This is the first night where he hasn't started, in fact. And he'll try and slot in right in the back line. So play will once again get restarted as Manuel Madrid gets attended to on the Red Wolves bench. A team that was missing a couple players coming into this game, and hopefully he'll be ready the next time Chattanooga is on the pitch. Another substitute as well, Mo Espinoza, getting his first touches on the ball. So Coach Ziggy Korotowski using his first substitution window to full effect. Here's Espinoza. 2 players in, a Travella cross. Looked pretty going into the area, but no white shirts there to meet it. Instead, Walefi collects the second ball. Here's Malongo's first touches. Free header in the box instead goes all the way to Espinoza, who takes it down. Has an overlap on his right-hand side and plays him, but it's behind Cardonia. Recovers well. Back with Espinoza. Stamped into the box and all the way through. Smart play by Chris Cole. Felipe Laborio Jr., another substitute with a poor cross. Referee says it actually came off of Chris Cole, rather Simon Fitch. Cross towards Espinoza. Bounces down and away from him. Gordon gets a touch, and now a chance to stretch his legs. Here's Owain Gordon, taking on a couple defenders, losing his footing, but Terzagi is there and plays it behind Gomero. That looked like a golden counter-attacking opportunity. Instead, here comes Chattanooga the other way. All the way for Espinoza, and again, the pass doesn't meet the mark. A chance for both teams in the span of a couple seconds to really test the goalkeepers, and the players just not on the same wavelength. Fresh legs with Owain Gordon, Mo Espinoza for both benches, just needing a couple more minutes to get warm, it seems. Into the final 24 minutes or so, this is where head coach Ziggy Korotowski says the Red Wolves are the most dangerous. They won't have a chance to create danger from the corner. Instead, conceded as a goal kick. Again, the Red Wolves forced to pressure the ball. We've seen the work rate, we've seen the athleticism from the visitors, which Coach Korotowski has talked about at length, but it's about making those runs and committing to those challenges in the right places at the right time, which they haven't done yet. Forced back on defense now as Hornsby is taken out by a sliding challenge. It looks like the defender got all of the ball. The referee lets play continue. Cardonia winning the ball back for the Red Wolves, and now playing it back towards Walefi and directing traffic. Calls for the switch and gets it. Williams all the way across. Lombardi trying to go himself, flipping it forward. Now Malongo trying to run at pace before he can get to the box. An important sliding challenge from Fitch, concedes the corner. Corner is not something that we've seen a lot of tonight. It'll be Mo Espinosa to take it for the visitors. Plenty of white shirts in the area, all crowded around the penalty spot. Mayo Malongo charged with marking the goalkeeper. Outswinging ball, bounced all the way through, and the referee calls for an infraction. And both sets of players rather, have had their reactions shown at decisions. And pretty well refereed so far in terms of going both ways. Again, only 2 yellow cards. As Terzagi goes in behind, checks the flag, but it stays down. Gordon sticks a foot out, and rather than getting the ball, gets Nicolas Cardona. Again, while Leffy just begging for a passing option. We talked about him coming into this game as the pit bull, the man who can be effective in the physical aspect of the game, but also the technical one. And so far, playing that number 6 role as the holding midfielder has seen a lot of the ball on the wrong side of midfield. Hasn't really been able to orchestrate the passes and the runs that maybe he'd like to. So Mensah goes on another run, and a second to it. Another coming together, and another strong reaction. Terzagi left in a heap, winning another free kick for the Kickers. Here's Fitzgerald. 20 minutes to go from City Stadium. Is there one more goal in this contest? If it's going to come from somebody, it looks like, as of right now, Chattanooga would be the likelier party. And controlling the second half, just as they have done all season. Seeing plenty of the ball, but again, it's the final product that's been missing. That's the Achilles heel for the Red Wolves this season. If they want to try and escape the Old North State, rather Old Dominion State, with a couple points today, they've got to find a shooting chance. Malongo and Marsh not on the same wavelength. Marsh tries to apologize and hurry back in defense. Vinyals checks his surroundings, plays it forward. Throwing Gordon, taking his player on. Gordon tees up the shot, blocked by Cardona, collected by the attacker. Trying to dance on the near side. Squares up his man, gets by him, cuts it back. Leffy there on the other end of it. Mensah in a bit of a struggle for the ball. 3 defenders around him and gets the foul. Papa Mensah hasn't really had the attacking liberty he might have liked tonight. Somebody who can score goals has been forced to hold up the ball rather than get looks at goal. Mensah trying to turn provider again. Still bouncing on the far side, and eventually Fitch has to head it out of play. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2023. Whether your club is on the road or at home, catch nearly every second of USL League One action on ESPN+, the home to the USL, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Second corner for the Red Wolves in a matter of a couple minutes. Another good delivery. And a worrying bounce towards Cage. The kickers feeling for a foul that won't be given. Espinoza ready to take another crack at it. The referee now keeping a watchful eye on the box. Espinoza's outswinger again. This time blows the whistle. Richard Renteria, the guilty party. Hornsby. Vinyals has Gordon ahead of him. Plays the attacker in behind, onside. Gordon with the footwork again, fires across. Belmar thankfully on the other end of it for Richmond. Another step over, makes his defender stumble and fall over. Still with Carlton Belmar, all the way through behind Vinyals. Terzagi, it's chaos, and it's away from the goal mouth. Against the run of play, Richmond nearly doubling their advantage as Espinosa sportingly kicks it out of play. Terzagi left in a heap. Lovely skill from Belmar on the far side, sits his man down, tried to pick out Vinyals, was wide open, the pass was behind him. Terzagi got a piece of it, and a great stop by Jerez, who made some contact with the attacker in the process. Terzagi, the goal scorer tonight, being attended to.
32 that's down.
Was close to his second, if not for the heroics of Ricardo Jerez. And this is going to be a considerable amount of added time. So if you're a Red Wolves fan, don't go anywhere. We saw the substitution for Madrid earlier, who needed some medical attention. Now Terzagi. This is going to be quite the lengthy contest. You can see Terzagi's legs moving now finally is sat up, which is always a good sign. And will he continue? It looks like it. He wants to say a piece to the referee first. A true attacker, Emiliano Terzagi, lays his body on the line, but not before he pleads his case. So he'll step out, and Richmond will play temporarily down a man. And the trainers will check out Terzagi, make sure he's okay to continue. And if the referee allows, Terzagi will rejoin play in just a minute here. Terzagi not given the okay. So currently 11 versus 10. And it looks like he's just run back on, and the referee says no and is going to yellow card him. Not something you say every day. An outside agent, a player who is not on the field, comes onto the field and gets a yellow card, and you can hear the Richmond faithful voicing their opinion at what is a very rare decision. Terzagi furious, but the question is he going to be allowed to stay on the field? Don't think so. He thought he got the okay, jogs out, he's ready to start playing. The referee says, hold on, yellow card. Terzagi's like, what just happened? So it looks like Terzagi is now running towards midfield, still off the pitch, and goes into the book for it. Wow. That's just not something you see every day. That's his third booking of the campaign as well. Still off the field. Referee still motioning towards him, saying not yet. And now finally, to a roar from the Richmond faithful, Terzagi is allowed back onto the pitch. And the kickers are at full strength once again in the 78th minute. What a crazy sequence that was. can't hold the all-time USL League One leading goal scorer for long. Fitzgerald. Postage stamp pass all the way up towards Gordon, chesting it down for Hornsby in a tussle. Gets his jersey pulled on and stays on his feet. Another foul at midfield, this time Cardonia taking down Owain Gordon. So Vinyals, a Barcelona native, to restart play. We've seen a lot of him on the ball today. He was first on the team last season in chances created with 55. 25 more than anybody else on the kickers. Haven't really seen him in the attacking third, though. We have seen Hornsby up this far. He'll try to cut it back. Comes off of the defender, so he has to keep it in play. Tries to dribble around two defenders. And eventually, Walefi escapes the danger, or does he? Goes down. Gordon says nothing doing. The referee stops play regardless. Walefi once again, the Corinthians Youth Academy product. The same year as Antonio Carlos, who's played 79 matches for Orlando City. The same academy that produced Willian. Won many trophies at Chelsea, now at Fulham. A similar caliber from him today. That's a tough challenge against Terzagi. Will the referee go to the book again? The fans are pleading for it, so are the players. The cards stay firmly in the pocket for now. Terzagi went down, clutching his head, which, regardless of a foul, was a stoppage. And it will be a yellow card. Richard Renteria trying to tell Terzagi, sorry about that, but referee not interested in the pleas. Renteria's first yellow card of the campaign, and that's a tough one. Caught Terzagi up high, and on that look, it looks like the correct call. Perez. Stamped all the way forward from the back. Mensah with two arms around him and fights for a throw-in. Which way does it go? Chattanooga. Laborio Jr. checks in. Sees the space in front of him, instead plays from Malongo, who is shielded brilliantly by Simon Fitch. Another substitution for the Red Wolves. Alex Tejera, making his 8th appearance of the season, takes out Walefi. And if my numbers are correct, that should be the last substitution of the night for Chattanooga. After making a quadruple change earlier in the game, not often you say that either. Here's Gordon in behind, and the flag goes up. Jerez sprinting off his line, ready to restart play. That's a poor pass out of the back. Renteria not taking care of the select ball, the official match ball supplier of the USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-support.com for the latest Select product specials and more. Select, the player's choice. Another throw-in on deck for Hornsby. Gordon takes it down. Vinyals. Lovely move to evade one defender, but runs out of room. Malongo, the forward, all the way back. Now Mensah trying to turn, has two players on him. You can see the tugging on the jersey there. That's an easy one to spot for the head official. That's a poor ball all the way across, a giveaway off a set piece. And after Chattanooga started the second half so well and sustained that pressure ever since that play from Terzagi, that chance for Vinyals and company, it's been a little bit more back and forth. Is there one more score left in this contest? Headed in play, but towards no shirt and white from Lombardi. Ball goes out of play as Coach Sawatsky motions for at least one substitute to get ready on the kicker's touchline. Here's Renteria for Cardonia. Red Wolves inching ever closer to that attacking goal. Perez way out of his area, trying to urge the White Kits forward. Renteria sends it long. Tejero concedes the throw-in. Bounces off a couple white shirts, and the throw-in is awarded to Chattanooga. Must have taken one more touch in there, as it will be a triple change for Coach Sawatsky and Richmond. David Olson, Luke Pavone, Chandler O'Dwyer all ready to enter in the 86th minute. Neil Vinyals will make way. He's been excellent in the middle of the park, as will two more kickers players. Emiliano Terzagi's night is done. Finally getting his second of the campaign, as the fourth official figures out how to work the substitution board. It'll be Luke Pavone, the replacement, up top, and Carlton Belmar, another forward, making way for Chandler O'Dwyer. So a couple midfielders replacing a couple forwards, and Coach Sawatsky ready to dig the heels in and see this one out. It was the 86th minute where Chattanooga broke Richmond hearts last year in the semifinals. And that minute has now come and gone. Here's Malongo. All gas, no brakes for the Red Wolves. And the kickers' defense will do everything they can to see this one out and earn their revenge. Espinoza motioning for the in-swinging kick on the left foot toward the front post, headed away by Richmond. Gomero trying to get onto it first, beat to it instead by Marsh. Everybody still forward. The cross way over hit. Gordon trying to chase down his own header, just won't get there. Everybody is up for the Red Wolves. Espinosa, the lone party on the other side of the kicker's midfield, just trying to get the ball forward, and he does. Marsh recovers his first touch, fires it off of Fitch. Siobhan Marsh with nowhere to go but backwards to the 88th minute. Richmond faithful rallying behind their squad, trying to bring the energy in the dying embers. Here's Malongo to the back post. Fitzgerald needed to get a touch to it. Better safe than sorry. The Japan native Akira Fitzgerald concedes another corner for the Red Wolves. Another change for Richmond, their final one of the night. Jacob Meekum, a defender, coming on for Joao Gomero, a midfielder. Once again, Coach Darren Sawatsky parking the bus for the last couple minutes. There will be some added time. Unsure how much yet, but quite a substantial amount from what we saw earlier. Espinosa's delivery. Fitch the first head to it. As the Richmond players sprawl forward. Headed into the box. Acrobatic clearance from Hornsby. And now a chance maybe on the break for Pavone. Gordon had plenty of space. Instead plays it right to a Richmond player. Here's Mensah. Mensah working space for the shot. Hornsby in front of it. Cross toward the back stick. Runners available. And it looked like Malongo who was first to it. Fitzgerald with a little bit of a shove on Espinosa, just trying to waste as much time as he can. Espinosa says, let's get the show back on the road, please. As the referee issues a final warning to the Richmond goalkeeper to restart play. Headed down for Pavone once again. Throw-in conceded. A chance in the 90th minute now for Richmond to slowly strut forward. Cautiously take up space in the attacking third. 6 more minutes will be added on. That is not a minuscule amount of additional time. There will be plenty more soccer to be played. The question is by whom? Perez to restart from the goal kick. Cardonia. All the way forward once again. There's some space for Papa Mensah if he can take it down. No options in front of him. Turns back. Cross into the area. Tracking back for it is Alex Tejera. And it looked like Siobhan Marsh was in a good position to get onto that. Tejera had to back up for that header and was going to have to do something magical to get that on frame. So difficult to try and redirect the ball while backtracking, let alone one off your head. 91 minutes elapsed. Fitzgerald to stamp it into the stratosphere. Headed all the way through, and the Red Wolves get the ball right back. Perez will go for a jog. Cardonia there to support him. It's a heavy first touch. Trying to stay with it, draws the foul. And again, the ball will be backed up. A quick restart, not on their cards tonight for either team. Espinosa. Into the area. Dangerous ball headed away, but not all the way away. That one a little bit safer for Richmond. Lombardi tried the spectacular, and it's being barked at. Really no other word for it by Mael Malongo. There's time on the board. You can settle that ball. You can find the overlapping run, work back if you need to. You don't need to force a difficult shot from a difficult angle with bodies in front of you. It's getting to crunch time now, that nervy time where maybe you don't think twice before you try and kick the ball. That's something that the Red Wolves have struggled with this season, said Coach Korytoski. Is thinking about the actions we do. Is it the best one for the team? Is it the best one to get the ball forward? Or keep possession if you have to? The only thing on their minds right now is there's not much time. Mensah flicks it on, and Fitzgerald there for it. Papa Mensah displeased with himself that he couldn't get more power behind the header. It was a good ball into the area from Siobhan Marsh. Mensah flicking it on, but had no real torque in his body motion. Just scraping the underside of the ball. And as a reminder, if you can't watch either of these teams' next contest, you can tune in. Sirius XM FC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk. Hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app. 2 minutes away from 3 points for Richmond. I asked Coach Sawatsky this week what's one thing I mentioned on the broadcast more than anything else. And he said, every time our squad wins, my wife bakes cookies for the players. And she really, really, really wants to bake some cookies. She's 2 minutes away from doing so. Provided the kickers can hold out just a little bit longer. All the way around from O'Dwyer. Does enough to help his team earn a throw-in. Jacob Meekum telling everybody to calm down a little bit as Coach Korotowski checks his watch. Says, ref, they got to play a little faster. All the fans in attendance tonight, crossed arms and bated breath, hoping their kickers can see this one through. As the ball goes out once again to some applause behind the assistant referee. Into minute 96 of 96. And Jacob Meekum confirming it's a throw-in, wasting a couple more valuable seconds. And it's a poor touch, though, from Luke Pavone. And here we go. Perez to restart. Elects to go long. Plenty of time to work this forward. Mensah tries to take it down. Leaves it for Malongo. Has some space. Tries to cut the pass back for Marsh. Gets onto the rebound. And a shot that was always escaping him. "96 minutes have elapsed. And that will do it. Revenge, a dish best served with cookies. The Richmond Kickers take home all 3 points at home, thanks to a goal from Emiliano Terzagi. It finishes at City Stadium, Richmond 1, Chattanooga 0. Richmond did just enough to capture all 3 points. A nervy contest for the hosts in the second half. The Red Wolves doing well to get forward, just couldn't find the back of the net. As there is Emiliano Terzagi, the man of the match, with his second goal of the campaign. The Golden Boot winner 3 years running. Did just enough tonight. Of course, the save of the match as well. Worth mentioning Akira Fitzgerald for just getting enough on it, going skywards, and at 35 years old can still get all the way up and tip a ball over the bar like that. Fitzgerald held it down in the back. Terzagi got the job done up front, and it was Richmond who get another win, number 4 on the season. We'll step aside for just a little bit. Don't go anywhere.
We would not not have a business today if it weren't for the support of the many, many people within the Richmond community. To me, we're working as a team to enhance the quality of life for all residents.
It's about being the best that you can be. It's about enriching the lives of people in your community. There's a reason why we have the tagline Nourish, because it's really about nourishing the lives of the people that work for us and the people that we serve. That's what the UCrops brand stands for.
Health. Suddenly that word seems more important these days, as it's consumed all aspects of our lives and made our universes feel smaller than ever. But at Bon Secours, your health has always been our top priority, and we're staying as committed as always to personalizing the right care for you. Because whether here or from home, we believe your health care should always revolve around you. Bon Secours, primary care for the universe of you. Visit bonsecours.com/primary care to connect with the provider today.
Hi, I'm Megan Mack, president of Prospect Blue.
And I'm Jess Barnes, Director of Business Development at Prospect Blue.
Prospect Blue is a staffing and recruiting firm headquartered right here in Richmond, Virginia. We serve the Mid-Atlantic region and beyond.
With the labor market experiencing historic shortages, Prospect Blue is here to help companies attract and retain key talent.
With strong relationships in the corporate, financial, legal, and medical fields, we are in a unique position to connect employers with job seekers.
1-0 the final score. Let's take a look at the highlights from City Stadium. In the first half, Terzagi thought he would have a piece of it. A great ball for Michael Hornsby, who was electric all night on that left flank. He did finally get his goal. Joao Gomero's shot saved on the first time of asking, but the second time tapped home by the all-time leading scorer in USL League One history. Jerez gets a foot to it, but not far enough. And the Buenos Aires native gets the all-definitive touch here tonight. Second half, finally Chattanooga woke up a little bit offensively. An overhead kick attempt by Pedro Hernandez, who hasn't scored this season and wasn't going to score after that one either. And then a little bit later, lovely footwork on the far side. Terzagi thought he might have had a second, if not for Jerez. Lovely footwork by Carlton Belmar. The pass a little bit behind Vinyals, and Terzagi just couldn't poach well enough. A lovely save from the goalkeeper, who tried his best tonight, but in the end, just not enough for Chattanooga to try and come back and get all 3 points. Not for lack of trying, though. Malongo's ball troubled Fitzgerald toward the end, who had to make an all-important touch over the bar and concede a corner. And at 35 years old, this keeper can still get all the way up. Let's take a look at the stats from tonight's contest. Chattanooga came all the way back with just one shot in the first half, 9 in the second, an even 50-50 split on possession. And of course, the Red Bulls having a couple yellow cards thanks to that kerfuffle in the first half, but unable to try and get their way onto the score sheet tonight. So that'll do it here from City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. The matchup, 217 days in the making, ends in all 3 points for the Kickers. It finishes Richmond 1, Chattanooga 0. For our entire crew and everybody helping make this game possible, I've been Philip Galati saying so long. Thanks for joining us. And stick around for much more later this week and this month, USL League One.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.